Alright, welcome everyone to another radio-free Cybertron review. I'm your host, Diecast, and today we have the Warrior class, Optimus Prime. And for a quick look at the packaging, here you have the packaging with the Optimus Prime picture on the top of the packaging, him in his truck mode, that same picture of Prime on the side, and on the back you have the instructions and the product shot, and he's in easy step 9 changes. If you do the modification that I put in the video, which I'll link in the description below, you'll see how to mod the arms or the hands so they can these front panels can slide back, and that will be in the description below if you want to check out that modification for Optimus Prime. So let's go ahead and get into transformation. Or, let's go over the figure first. He does come with an axe, which is very nice. And it is painted, and I do like when they at least put another color on the weapon. Just makes the weapon that much better. And it can plug into his hand. But we're just going to unplug that right now. He does have a full rotation at the shoulder. The shoulder goes in a little bit due to transformation. He has a ball joint down at the elbow. Nothing else up there. These shoulder pieces can rotate from front to back. There is kind of a little, you'll feel like a click. Like this is the angle the shoulders are supposed to be at, but you can bring them down further if you want. But I do kind of prefer them at that angle. It also allows him to move his arm in a little bit more without hitting his chest panel. The head can swivel about that much, just due to his chest. It can't do a full 360. Legs do have a full 90-degree bend at the knee. They can go back about that far. They can go all the way forward, and they do rotate at the upper thigh. Nothing on the feet. And he does have a waist rotation due to transformation. But as you can see, it does kind of look a little odd if you turn his waist too much. So probably minimal waist rotation would be good on this guy. So let's get into the transformation. First thing we're going to do is we're going to rotate the front of the cab back over the hands, which you don't have to do if you didn't do the mod, but if you did do the mod, you will have to do that. Now we're going to rotate back his shoulder pieces and bring his arms up. Just like that. On the side, this little piece right here will peg into his hand. Same thing on the other side. Bring that around, clip that in. We're going to go ahead and push the head down. It'll go back inside. And you can rotate the arms, swing them forward. You can see it doesn't add too much gap doing the modification that we did. Everything still seems to peg nice together, so you don't have to worry about gappage in the vehicle mode. We're going to rotate the hips around, just like so. Then before we clip, we can go ahead and peg the legs in. There is storage for the weapon. Basically, you just come up here. The end of the handle, there's two little notches. They will just slide in right there, and then there's two more notches on the bottom of the axe, and they'll slide in between the legs, just like so. Then these feet panels just unpeg, and there you have Prime in his vehicle mode. And it is a pretty decent truck for a warrior class figure. I'm really liking it. The axe on mine doesn't really want to stay down where it should. You can kind of unpeg the legs to get the axe in there a little bit better. It's a little iffy. It's got okay weapon storage. It's not great. So he does roll very well. I do really like the fact that, he has so many tires, and when you turn it into, his leg, he just has the two tires on the back here, but they're big and bulky. I think that's really nice. Unpeg them. Put that back in his vehicle mode. And then for a size comparison, let's see if I have any of the RID figures around here. So for a comparison, here he is with Bumblebee. It is a tad bit out of scale just because he's a warrior class figure and he's a warrior class figure. But it's not too horribly bad. So let's go ahead and I'll transform these guys back and I'll give you some comparisons in robot mode. Here's Prime back in robot mode, and here he is with Bumblebee, who wants to fall forward. But you can see Prime is a bit taller than Bumblebee. The only thing that kind of throws this off is when you bring in old Strong Arm, or young Strong Arm. They are pretty close to the same size. So let's move her over. Yes, Bumblebee. Bumblebee has the least heals out of any of these guys. And there you have all three of the figures together. And then just to show you, Bumblebee has his sword. If you do the hand mod to make this piece flip around, you can actually have Prime hold Bumblebee's sword. Although his hands are definitely a tight fit for it. But it'll go all the way through. If you wanted to. Just like so. And it actually looks pretty good with Prime. So, looks a lot better with Prime than it does with Bumblebee, but I think it's just because of the, it's like a clear blue, and Prime is more blue. Kind of stands out on Bumblebee. And again, his hand is almost like a tad too small for it. I think this sword's a little bit bigger just because Bumblebee's hands are not a perfect circle. So Bumblebee can hold it a little bit better. They added a little bit of thickness onto it because of that. And there you go. That is Warrior Class RID Optimus Prime.